Hello, and welcome to Nailed It Tarot and Intuition. I am Torch, and thank you for visiting my channel. So today, in honor of 2026, which is the #1 year, and the month of January, which is the #1 month, I'm going to be reviewing all of the major arcana cards for the collective that resonate at the one energy. So previously, you can check out my previous video where I did a reading on the Magician card. And at this time, we're going to be using the Wheel of Fortune as inspiration for this previous reading to see how the energy of the wheel is impacting the collective at this time who is viewing this video. So I want to thank you so much for being here. The deck that I'll be using for this reading is the Guardian of the Night Tarot by MJ Cullinan. Okay, and please forgive me if I butchered that. So we'll open up with a blessing as I shuffle the cards. Please remember that all tarot readings and intuitive messages are for entertainment purposes. We do all have our own intuition, so please use your own wisdom, discernment, common sense, and judgment when viewing this reading. You do have free will, and you are never under any force, coercion, or spell because of viewing my content. Take what resonates and please disregard what does not. So I'm going to sit this card here at the top to serve as the tone for the reading. And at this time, I am calling on the presence of the Most High Creator living within us and permeating all of creation and consciousness to join me now. I welcome you and your holy ones of the highest vibration into this space. Any energies or entities that are not as mentioned are not welcome here and must leave now. Our souls have a plan, and through this reading, may obstacles to our soul's plan be removed so that we may shine our brightest light out into the world. May the roads which lead to the manifestation of our highest path be now open and swift. Please guide the understanding of those listening to receive only what is meant for them without perversion. And may my understanding and speech be plain and clear so that only what is needed to bring peace, truth, wisdom, and confidence is spoken, and so it is uttered, and so it is done. Okay, so we'll give the deck a cut before we start the reading. If you like my reading style and messages, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button and like, share, and comment on this video. So at this time, please show us energies for the Wheel of Fortune that are impacting the collective. Thank you for those watching this video. Thank you for their path. Thank you for their purpose. Please show us this new beginning. Provide adequate advice for us as we move forward. Thank you so much. All right. And at the bottom of the deck, we have the 8 of Wands. That's some really nice energy. So it seems like things are already going to be shifting and moving in such a direction to get some momentum and get things moving. So to start off, we have the 7 of Cups, the Page of Wands, the Queen of Swords, the Moon card, the 10 of Wands, Death, and the 10 of Swords. Okay, let me sit with and connect this energy. So I've mentioned this before in previous readings, but you know, coming out of 2025 into 2026, the new year energy is already starting to bleed into this year. However, there is a lot of shedding and releasing that still needs to be done from past energy before this new beginning can get started. So like if the old energy is black and the new energy is white, and I'm just using this for the purposes of a metaphor, we're kind of in a gray space where we're moving out of the black more into the white of the new beginning. And so I definitely see that here with the 10 of Swords at the death and the Death card. And I'm feeling this as an ego death. Some thoughts, beliefs, patterns that were not working out for you and we're maybe not in alignment with your highest path and your highest self. Okay, that spirit of the Most High that lives within you, your highest self, is definitely showing its face here. So I feel like this Ten of Swords and Death energy has already happened, and it does give that feeling of like the phoenix, so kind of like out of the ashes, a new version of you is being reborn. And, you know, I feel some uncertainty with the moon card, such as that you're not really sure just yet how things are going to pan out with the moon energy and the Seven of Cups showing up here. But you do have a fresh wind. I feel this Page of Swords is like a fresh passion, a fresh wind that is coming through to that's kind of providing the seed for what you want to build in the future. All right. So if we think about the wheel, you know, sometimes you're up, sometimes you're down, but also the fact that like there's a time and a season and a place for everything to happen. So it's like, as far as, you know, times and seasons, and I'm feeling, I don't know if you've ever seen like a compass. When you look at a compass, there's like several wheels. There's like an inner wheel, an outer wheel, and then a further outer wheel. And like all of them are like recalibrating and refocusing to eventually settle in one place and show you what that true north path is. So I'm definitely feeling like all of these little circles and dials within the wheel card that are kind of, you know, some are going clockwise, some are going counterclockwise, and it's this energy of like twisting and turning until we finally find where our true north is. And so I feel like with the Page of Wand energy, you do have an idea. There's the idea or the initiative energy that is present here to that is guiding you. Okay, but for some reason you still feel a bit novice, you still feel a bit uncertain, because the majority of energy that we have here is showing me that, you know, it's been a long time coming, and you feel this energy feels very like fresh out the womb, like it's still wet behind the ears, you know. It's like when you know, if you can imagine this energy being like, you know, say the old you is you at bedtime before you went to bed, you know. So the idea of sleep here is the metaphorical, you know, death that is happening of the old self, and that part of you went to sleep, but you're starting to wake up. And so once you've woken up, you know, like initially in the morning, you'll kind of have that little drowsiness from the night before, maybe a little bit of a hangover, like you're not totally clear, you're not totally awake, you're not totally, you know, but there's an excitement, but it's like you still need to wake up, like in those first initial moments of opening your eyes before you get out of bed. And so that's how I'm feeling this energy, that like you're awake, you have the intention, you have the heart, the passion to start the day, to start this new path, to start the journey, but there's still some drowsiness, some dizziness, some, you know, like you haven't got your footing yet, you haven't got your equilibrium just yet, you know. The first few steps of getting out the bed, like maybe you stumble a little bit, it has that type of energy to it. And with the Seven of Cups being here, it feels to me that like this is a very like dreamy energy that it's giving me, sitting next to the Page of Wands also. So it's like there's a lot of options, a lot of choices that need to be made. There's it's like, well, if I have this dream, it's like, do I want to take a course? Do I want to connect with a family group? Do I want connect with in the community with new connections? Do I want to start reading books on my own? Do I need to say, you know, like there's there's so much, I think you feel like there's so much that needs to be done in order to accomplish this, or even to get some momentum started. And it's kind of like, what do I do first? Where do I start with this? Which can be very overwhelming at times. But with the Queen of Swords sitting here, I feel a bit of like methodical strategy energy coming into here. Like you're using a bit of logic, a bit of like good wisdom, judgment. Like, okay, the last time I was in a situation like this, how did I get through it? What works for me? What's my learning style? Am I an an audio learner? Am I a visual learner? Do I have to get my hands in it? So it's like, from how you know yourself, and because you definitely are very self-aware to understand that like all of this is happening. So like even me doing this reading right now, like I'm not telling you anything that you don't already know with this Queen of Swords. It's like, you're about this life. It's like, this isn't my first rodeo. This is a very intelligent and smart energy. And I do like this showing up, because the Queen of Swords to me is like one of the more masculine of the feminine queens in the deck. And so there's a nice balance that you show here. It's like I've got the wisdom to approach this new dream, this new life that I want for myself. But I'm also staying connected to my intuition and my path along the way, with both the Queen of Swords and the Moon card. Now, if I tune into the Moon energy a little bit more, this picture, there's a wolf here that is looking inside at the contents of this trash can that has spilled over, and there's all this water that's falling out of this trash can. So if we think of water as representing the emotional body, it feels to me that there's a lot from the past, right, that could sabotage this journey if you don't keep your wits about yourself. There's maybe some, if you've ever struggled with, and maybe I'll just pull another card about this to please clarify the Moon card, please. Please clarify the Moon card. What does the water represent? Please clarify the Moon card. What does the water represent? Please clarify the Moon card. Thank you. Okay, and the new bottom of the deck is the Nine of Wands. All right, so here we've got the King of Pentacles and the Judgment card. So with this particular energy, I'm feeling that like maybe in the past, you were uninformed, because in the Moon, in the darkness that has to be present for the Moon to be illuminated, sometimes things are hidden from us. Things are definitely unknown. So I feel like maybe there was an energy here in the past that you didn't have all the information that you needed, maybe in regards to an earth sign person, in the King of Pentacles card. So that could be a Capricorn, Virgo, or Taurus. But for the most part, I'm feeling this as, maybe your finances weren't in order, or maybe there was a decision that was made about in business, or about your finances or something, that left you feeling that you had less than what you needed, or that you weren't able to secure yourself and secure your own well-being and the ability to provide for yourself, based off of some decision that you made in the past. And so there's a level of confidence in oneself that I'm feeling you might be struggling with a bit. So as far as this Ten of Swords and Death card goes, you know, if you were focused on the wrong things, or whatever that means to you. So say a lot of times that you were more focused on your outer appearance than how your inner self was doing, you know, because sometimes we can get into that where we're spending a lot of money to make ourselves look very good on the outside while our inner selves are dying, or while our inner selves are not being fulfilled and properly fed. Okay, so maybe if you're coming to the realization that, you know, it's one thing looking good on the outside, but like feeling good about myself on the inside is what's most important. And so this feels to me like a reprioritization of what is important to you, how you see value, and also how you're seeing yourself. Like if you had if you were being motivated by some type of insecurity or something like that that caused you to be a bit shallow or superficial in how you were approaching your decisions, maybe that part of you is what's dying here, and you're replacing it with more logic. Like it has to make sense. Like, and if it doesn't make sense, then like you can't be a part of it. And also I'm feeling with this Judgment card, because in here, you know, there's a few snakes running around in this deck. You know, we see this snake that has shed its skin. All right. And so this is what I mean. Like this new skin on the snake is very fresh. You know, it's very fresh, and it's, you know, potentially, you know, vulnerable. Okay. Or maybe like it hasn't been firmed up. But it's also like very like pure and untainted in a way. Like it's free of scars, because all the scars is what is being left behind here. So I feel that you are definitely making some conscious choices to be different. Okay. And it's like, in order to be different, I have to think different. I gotta move different. Like I can't be part of those same old rhythms and beats that I was moving according to in the past. Like there's a realization here that, you know, because I hear the phrase sometimes that like everybody wants change, but everybody does not want to change. But you are allowing this change to happen, even with some level of uncertainty, some level of not even knowing how it's going to come out. You are letting this process happen. You're allowing this death to happen. And I feel with the Queen of Swords, like a hedge of protection around yourself, that you are, or you know, your wisdom is keeping you safe from anything that might have made you afraid in the past. Okay. So and also just looking at this Moon card, I like here that, you know, we're not afraid to look at the past. We're not, you know, you're not afraid of what you've been through. You're not afraid of your story. You're not ashamed. It's like, I'm going to turn this shit over. I'm going to look at it. I'm going to face it. I'm going to confront it. I'm going to look at all this, and then I'm going to release it and let it wash. All right. So this is really solid energy, for this Wheel card. And as I mentioned before, like all those, you know, inner, outer, middle dials that are like recalibrating and everything like that, eventually you are going to be able to, not even eventually, like now, I feel that there's such a focus on this true north, letting this guide your decisions, letting the new passion, the new ideas guide your decision. And you are taking a very like mature approach to releasing the past, and like sorting and filtering through all of what you feel, and in order to make the appropriate decisions for yourself, and to know when this, you know, this reads to me as having a lot of emotional intelligence. And I am so super proud of you for that. So I really enjoy this energy. So at this time, I am going to get some outcome energy from Madame Endora's fortune cards. And then lastly, we'll get an advice card from the messages from the universe. Okay. So please provide some outcome energy. What advice, outcome advice do you have for collective in this wheel energy? What advice do you have? And thank you so much for your guidance. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you that when we ask, you tell us. Thank you for these tools. Thank you for these gifts. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We are so grateful. We are so grateful to ourselves. Okay, the hourglass. Time is of the essence. And at the bottom of the deck, we have the talisman. You are destined to succeed. So, destiny's on your side. Same as with this wheel card. You know, wheel of fortune always, I mean, it's the wheel of fortune. You know what I'm saying? So there's always going to be a really good outcome when the wheel is here. But I want to look up the meaning of this hourglass. You know, it seems like, you know, don't delay. We saw the eight of wands initially at the bottom of the deck. So there's a bit of like urgency, I feel, that's being communicated here. As the sands of the hourglass slip away, it reminds us that time is precious and of the essence. Don't hesitate. Take the initiative to act before it's too late. So this is really good sound advice, because as we remember with the wheel, not only does this represent like things turning in your favor, but it also represents times and season. You know, there's a season to build, there's a season to release, a season to build, a season to release, a season to plant, a season to harvest. And so time definitely has a play here. So this is just letting you know, like, the energy is ripe for you right now to have this success that you're dreaming about, that we see in the Page of Wands. So don't dilly-dally. Take advantage of this time, because, you know, at some other time, okay, you know, I feel rain coming down over crops that have been, where the seeds have been planted in the ground. So it's like, you know, while we have this rain, make sure you're there to absorb it. Make sure you're there to receive it. You know what I'm saying? Because if you don't, like, you never know when the next time it's going to rain, you know? So you really need to make sure that you are doing your most and bringing your best into this, so that you are not missing out on this opportunity. Okay, and last but not least, we're going to take a card from Messages of the Universe to close us out. I got these cards on Amazon and I just absolutely love them. And I will give it just one more shuffle and a quick cut. Great job out here, y'all. Great job out here. Okay. So what we have here, release old doubts and fears. You are currently undergoing changes that are necessary for your highest good. They are changes that have been long awaited. Leave the past where it belongs, in the past, and trust that everything will fall in place for you in divine timing. You have everything that you need, and if you do your part, the divine is going to do their part. It's all coming. So thank you so much for tuning into this reading today. I hope to see you really soon. Following this, on the 19th, I'm going to be covering the Sun card, which is the last of the major arcana that reduces to the one energy. And since the sun is card 19, I'm going to be doing that on or around the 19th. So thank you so much once again. I hope you like my nails. I'm getting them done next week, so I'm super excited to show y'all my new design. Okay, take really good care and enjoy the rest of your day or evening. Bye-bye.